What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. I kind of thought to myself that since you guys liked the video where I was explaining the top 5 things I love about my 650R, why not make the same video with this bike and talk about the top 5 things I love about the 600RR. I have around 2,600 kilometers on the bike, so I'm still kind of getting used to it a little bit. But I've noticed a few things already that I absolutely love about this bike, and also a few things that I absolutely hate about this bike. There's not that many things that I don't like about the bike yet. I think there's about like 2 or 3, so I'll just wait a little longer until I make that video. And yeah, I mean, hopefully I don't find more things that I don't like about it. But on the other side, I kind of hope so I can at least talk about, you know, the top 5 things, because 2 or 3 things are not long enough for a full video in my opinion. And without further ado, let's get into the first thing, and that is the engine. Most of the new engines are super smooth, and this is honestly no exception at all. You know, you have the crazy power from anywhere above 11,000 RPM. Obviously, it's a screaming inline 4. You know, it needs to be revved. It doesn't have the torque down low. It doesn't have that punch. But, you know, that's what you get with an inline 4 engine. That's what I actually love. Down low, this engine is not going to be as punchy as like a MT-09 or, you know, the new R9. But it revs out much higher than those bikes. It makes that power up top, and that power feels absolutely insane, because when it gets to that power band, man, it just feels like a fucking turbo just kicked in. You just hit freaking boost, and the bike is a fucking rocket ship, and it just takes off and goes. But also, when you're just riding around the city like this, and you're at like 5, 6, 7k RPM, you know, you can normally drive and the engine feels super smooth, super tame. It doesn't feel like a slight twist of throttle is gonna kill you right away, you know? Even in first gear, going uphill, 6k RPM, 7k now, I can punch it. It will take off pretty crazily, even from the revs down low. It has, you know, 130 horsepower, 60 or 80 newton meters of torque. It's not a slow bike by any means. So number 1, it still picks up from the revs down low. Number 2, it is super smooth in any rev range you kind of throw at it. So you can be cruising at 11k. Obviously the exhaust, the engine, it's just gonna scream like crazy. But besides that, it's just gonna be super smooth, man. Obviously you guys can't have whiskey throttle. Like, obviously it's still a fast bike, and giving it too much throttle, you know, can cause you to crash. But it's not like you have to be super mindful of it all the time. You know, you give it a little bit of gas, but it's manageable. And then obviously at 11k, if you do that, you know, you're just playing around with it. Even, you know, the last pull that I just did, I was trying to keep the wheel down, but you still see traction control just blinking at you, and the front wheel just gets a little light. So yeah, when you're giving it the beans and you're kind of higher in the rev range, you have to be mindful of that. So yeah, obviously it's a crazy fast bike. It has raw crazy power, but it's also at the same time pretty tame, pretty manageable. And that's what I love about the engine, man. They did a really good job with just tuning it and making everything work. So the second thing I love about this bike are the ergonomics and how I just fit on this bike in general. It is surprisingly very comfortable for what it is, obviously. You cannot compare this to an adventure bike. It's never going to be as comfortable. It's never going to be as comfortable as the new Honda Hornet, for example, because that's a naked bike. And you sit completely straight. Obviously that's going to be more comfortable than this. But if we're comparing this bike to its competitors, then honestly I've been trying out different bikes, and just fucking sport bikes from Honda, I don't know why, They just fit me so freaking well, man. Oh my god, I'm falling over.
From what I've heard from all the other owners, man, like everyone's saying that they love how they fit on this bike. So it's not just me, it's not just my personal preference. A lot of people just like how this bike fits them. I've sat on a ZX6R, and that's like the direct competitor. I haven't sat on the new R9, unfortunately, so I don't know how comfortable that is, but I've sat on an older R6.
That was also terrible. This is still a super sport. Your back is still most likely going to hurt after a longer ride. Your wrists or your hands are going to hurt as well. But you know, that's what us sport bike riders are used to, and that's the pain we're willing to take.
Like I mentioned, the back pain and the wrist pain, honestly, I don't get any of that on this bike. And honestly, it surprises me so freaking much because I mean, I never had any back pain on the 650R, but I did have some serious like wrist pain and just hand pain in general, and it wasn't the most comfortable thing ever, to be honest. But with this bike, you know, my knees are more bent, they're in a sportier position than the 650R. My body in general is probably in a sportier position than the 650R as well, which means I should be putting more weight on my handlebars through my hands, which means my hands should also hurt more, but they don't hurt at all. So honestly, even for a little longer ride, this bike is just perfect, nothing hurts, and you can enjoy it a lot. So I guess you can put number 2 as like a smaller package of, you know, it fits great, pretty comfortable, easy to ride longer, no pain. I don't know if any of those turns get tighter, so I still need to watch out.
Also guys, same with the 650R videos. These things are not in any order, they're just the top 5 things, and whatever popped up in my mind first is what I'm going to talk about first. Let's probably have a little bit of fun here, and then we'll talk about the third thing.
Since I was kind of going faster, the next thing that popped up in my mind are all the power modes. Obviously, more and more new bikes have like different power modes, different traction modes and stuff like that. Obviously, this is a sport bike, so it should have something like that. You know, having a 6-axis IMU that helps you out with traction, wheelies, all that stuff. You definitely need power modes so you can kind of set up everything to your own preference. So first of all, you can set up different power modes, different traction modes, different wheelie control modes, and different engine braking modes. Once you get out of this main screen, I think you have to be standstill to do that. You kind of enter a whole menu where you can set up everything. You also have 3 modes for your quick shifter up and quick shifter down.
You can set up basically how hard you have to push on the lever to be able to shift. So I kind of have it in the middle setting, and honestly it feels fine. Nothing ever happened with upshifts, only sometimes, very rarely though, when I downshift I kind of don't, you know, press the lever as hard, and I can hear the bike blip the throttle, but it doesn't actually shift down. It's not that bad at all though, like it's a very light tap and it already downshifted just like that. So yeah, you don't have to apply too much force.
And with the rest of those things, the power modes, traction, wheelie, and engine brake, you can change those on the fly. You don't have to be standing still. All you need to do is press and hold the mode button. Once you're in there, you just keep pressing the mode button to switch between every single setting, and then you use the selection buttons up and down to, change the settings, basically. It's really simple. It took me, one try and I got it down. So pretty simple thing to learn, pretty simple thing to even do on the fly. So yeah, I really like what they did with the power modes. It's just, like I said, super simple to navigate through everything, super simple to set everything up. And you have 3 preset modes, and then you have 2 user modes that you can adjust to your liking. Anyways, once you set up your user mode, you can then just use the select buttons to switch between the user modes and the 3 other preset modes. So, you can just on the fly instantly change how the bike will react depending on your riding style or where you're riding, If it's raining, there's a rain mode, and you just go through the selections. This is rain mode, which is power 5, traction 8, wheelie control 3, and engine brake 1. We're not getting much power. We have almost full traction and almost full wheelie control. So when I get on the throttle, obviously this bike will still pick up, but it was way manageable as if I switch to user 1, which is power 1, traction 2, wheelie control 1, and engine brake 3. Then the bike just comes alive. So you can definitely feel the difference between the different power modes. And we're going through an underpass, so we can start talking about the 4th thing, which is obviously the exhaust. I'm not really talking about the Austin Racing exhaust that I've done. Obviously, I love the exhaust, but that's not a thing that comes stock on the bike. I'm basically just talking about the whole exhaust. And, Honda kept the classic look of the underseat exhaust, which is just
classic for the 600RR. Looks absolutely great. And the stock exhaust, honestly, doesn't sound too bad. One guy called it a Dyson vacuum cleaner, and honestly, I gotta disagree, man. Like, with the 650R, the stock exhaust, yeah, it just sounds like a fucking Dyson vacuum cleaner. I agree with that, but not on the 600RR, man.
Especially with all the manufacturers, needing to meet all the sound laws and all the frickin' emission laws and stuff. I have no clue how Honda was able to fit the OEM exhaust and pass emissions and everything, because that thing honestly was pretty freaking loud for what it is. For a stock exhaust, man, I think it had 96 decibels. I don't think there's much more to talk about when it comes to the exhaust. It looks good, sounds good. The stock one obviously isn't loud. Maybe it sounds like a vacuum cleaner a little bit, but once you rev it out, it's
really not that bad, especially if you compare it to what other manufacturers are putting on their bikes.
And I guess we're already up to the last thing that I wanted to talk about that I love about this bike, and those are the winglets, and I guess kind of the whole fairings as well. To be honest, guys, I gotta say, hats off to Honda, man. They've really did their best when it comes to looks. I mean, I got nothing bad about this bike when it comes to looks, man. I love the fairings. I kind of had an issue with the 650R that, the side fairings didn't really go all the way to the side. That's not the case with this bike. The side fairings over here, I guess they could cover a little bit more of the engine as well, but they definitely cover more than the 650R did. And I'm super happy with the way the side fairings look, super happy with how the front end looks. The only thing about the front end would be the 2 blue and white decal stripes, these ones that I've already talked about in probably the first or second video with the red 600RR. But I don't mind them that much. So I love the front end of the bike. I love the side shot.
absolutely love the tank, which, I mean, this is a cover as well, but I love how the tank feels. I love how my legs kind of wrap perfectly around it. Like, I'm literally made for this bike, the way just like Honda designed the bike as a whole, and the way like every fairing fits together and just like makes that raw racy design. I love it, man. And when it comes to the winglets, I mean, you know, some people are hating on winglets. I feel like winglets now are definitely more and more common. More and more manufacturers put them on their bikes. They used to start at later bikes, now they're starting to put them at like lower tier bikes as well. Mainly because they look good, I guess. Also, there's many winglet styles that are super big and they just don't look good in my opinion. But these wings, in my opinion, are just enough.
I would be fine with wings that are a bit bigger, but I guess this size and this like specific style of the wing is actually helpful.
You would pretty much have to be a full professional rider if you want to use every little bit of what this bike offers, and I'm obviously not capable of that, and I think most of normal riders are not capable of that. Obviously those wings aren't meant to help you with wheelies. They're too low for that, and honestly I'm just calling bullshit if any winglets are supposed to help with wheelies, because like if you have a M1000RR that has fucking 210 horsepower and you put like wings that are this fucking big, like sure they're big wings, but you still got 210 horsepower. Those wings ain't helping shit, you know? Basically, those wings should help you in turns, you know, because when you're braking really hard, you're compressing the front forks, and then they are decompressing again once you're kind of in that turn. And those wings are supposed to help with like downforce in a turn when you're leaned over, and I guess it makes sense. So yeah, like I said, they're not supposed to help you with wheelies, but they're supposed to help you with cornering stability. You have to be an absolute professional rider to notice it, or for the wings to actually help you, but it's still a really cool thing to have. They look super freaking dope in my opinion. I just found out that my seat cowl is freaking broken. What the fuck? Like, yes, I open it quite a lot just so I can put my microphone and my wallet there, but guys, like, I've had this bike for like a month now. Basically, you guys have like the two clips. One's the metal clip and you use your key to like unlock it, and the other one is like the plastic clip at the end, which like slides underneath. And yeah, the plastic clip is fucking broken. I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. I'm probably just gonna go to Honda and like tell them about it, and like fucking warranty should cover that, man. Like, I don't want to buy another seat cowl. Obviously, right when I get home, I will put the rear seat back on for now until the whole situation with Honda gets figured out. And yeah, it is what it is, man. It fucking sucks, but hopefully I should just get a new one, man, because I haven't had it for too long. So yeah, guys, I think I'm going to leave it off here. I covered pretty much all the most important things that I love about this bike. Honorable mention would be the up and down quick shifter, which is absolutely smooth and just works like butter. But yeah, there's a few other small things that I obviously love about the bike. But yeah, these were the top 5 things. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notifications, and I'll see you boys in the next one. Peace!